Hey friend, welcome to the BotBuhdy AI report. Today we've got a packed show for you. Samsung goes all in on ChatGPT, OpenAI's biggest deployment ever. The AI IPO race. OpenAI at $1 trillion, Anthropic files confidential S1. EU AI Act goes live. August 2nd, companies have 30 days to sign or face consequences. AI drug discovery scores $2.5 billion deal to crack neuroimmune disorders. And finally, AI solves a 65-year-old math problem that stumped Erdős. Let's get into it.
Here's a story about a company changing its mind in a very big way. Back in 2023, Samsung Electronics made headlines for banning ChatGPT internally. The reason? Employees had accidentally leaked sensitive source code by pasting it into the chatbot. Samsung's response was swift. No more AI. Chatbots on company devices. Done. End of story. Except it wasn't. Fast forward to this week, and Samsung just announced it is deploying ChatGPT Enterprise and OpenAI's Codex coding agent to every single employee in South Korea, plus its entire device experience division globally. That covers Galaxy phones, home appliances, semiconductors, the whole operation. OpenAI is calling this one of its largest enterprise deployments ever. Think about the scale here. Samsung's DX division alone spans tens of thousands of people across multiple continents. We are talking about one of the world's most important technology companies going from zero to full send on AI tools in less than 3 years. The productivity implications are enormous. When Samsung's engineers are using AI coding assistants to build the chips, phones, and appliances that billions of people use, that feedback loop accelerates everything. Samsung's reversal is not just a business story. It is a signal that the era of corporate caution about AI tools is over. The question is no longer whether to use AI, it is how fast you can deploy it.
Okay, this next one. I am genuinely excited about this. You are going to love it.
The two biggest IPOs in tech history are now officially racing each other to the finish line. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, is reportedly targeting a September 2026 debut on the public markets at a valuation that could reach $1 trillion. $1 trillion. That would make OpenAI's IPO the largest in U.S. history, surpassing even Saudi Aramco's record. Meanwhile, Anthropic, the maker of the Claude family of models, quietly filed a confidential S1 with the SEC in June and is targeting an IPO window between October and December 2026. Employees at both companies are already deep in conversations with financial planners, trying to figure out what to do with what could be life-changing equity payouts. Financial advisors are warning them to be patient. Lockup periods typically last 6 months after an IPO, which means even an October listing could mean waiting until April 2027 before shares can be sold. This race was supercharged by the recent SpaceX IPO, which reminded markets that investors are hungry for major AI names. Now all eyes are on OpenAI and Anthropic. Whoever gets out first at the highest valuation wins the public narrative. And in AI right now, narrative is everything. The next few months are going to be fascinating.
Now this one is a little concerning. This is something we should all be paying attention to.
The largest AI regulation in history goes live in 41 days. And right now, there are AI companies scrambling to figure out where they stand. Here's the situation. The European Union's AI Act fully applies on August 2nd, 2026. It covers everything from chatbot disclosure requirements, meaning AI. Systems must identify themselves as AI, to deepfake labeling and transparency rules for high-risk applications. The EU AI office created a voluntary code of practice to help companies prepare. If you sign it by July 22nd, you get a presumption of regulatory conformity, which is basically legal armor when the inspectors come knocking. If you don't sign, you're playing defense in a market of 450 million consumers where non-compliance fines can reach 3% of global annual revenue. For a company like OpenAI or Google, that's billions. The clock is now ticking audibly. Companies operating in Europe have 30 days to make a decision that could define their regulatory relationship with the EU. For years, the AI Act is not theoretical anymore. It is the law, and it kicks in on August 2nd. If you're building or deploying AI in Europe, July 22nd is the most important date on your calendar right now.
This is fascinating. The more I looked into this, the more interesting it got.
AI just landed a $2.5 billion contract to try to cure some of the most challenging diseases in medicine. In Silico Medicine, a company built around generative AI, for drug discovery, announced today a collaboration with SK Biopharmaceuticals worth up to $2.5 billion. The target? Neuroimmune disorders. Conditions like multiple sclerosis, neuroinflammation, and related diseases where the immune system attacks the nervous system. These are conditions that have largely resisted traditional drug development for decades. Here's what makes In Silico different. Instead of chemists manually designing drug candidates and testing them, In Silico's AI system starts with a disease target and generates novel molecular structures from scratch, predicting how they'll bind, how they'll behave in the body, and which ones are worth making in a lab. The process that used to take years can now take months. The scale of this deal signals that Big Pharma is no longer treating AI drug discovery as an interesting experiment. They are betting billions on it. And neuroimmune disorders are exactly the kind of complex, hard-to-target diseases where AI's ability to analyze vast molecular data could find patterns that human researchers simply cannot. This is AI going to work on some of humanity's hardest problems.
Okay, so this next one. This is actually really good news. We need more of this.
Mathematics has always been considered the one domain where human genius was irreplaceable. Complex proofs, abstract conjectures, the kind of pure mathematics that takes years of intuition and creativity to navigate that was supposed to be beyond AI. Well, today that assumption took a serious hit. An AI system has formally disproved the Erdős unit distance problem. For context, Paul Erdős was arguably the most prolific mathematician of the 20th century, a man who published more than 1,500 papers and is famous for offering cash prizes for solutions to the problems he couldn't crack himself. The unit distance problem, which he posed in 1946, asks about the maximum number of times a specific distance can appear among a set of points in the plane. For 65 years, mathematicians could only inch closer to an answer. Erdős himself never saw it solved. Today, an AI found a construction that disproves the bound Erdős thought was correct. The implications of this are genuinely hard to process. If AI can now crack 65-year-old open problems in combinatorial geometry, what else can it solve? Erdős left behind a list of unsolved problems, many with cash bounties attached. One by one, AI may be coming for all of them. We may be at the beginning of a golden age of AI-assisted mathematics, one that changes not just how we compute, but how we discover truth itself.
That's all for today, friend. If you found this helpful, smash that like button and hit subscribe. I will see you tomorrow with more AI news. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and remember, leverage your intelligence.